Nancy, it's so good to have you here at the space in between, our first guest back
Mhm.
to this podcast. And you were on it almost a year ago, or maybe a little over a year ago. And we
Mhm.
got to hear a little bit about your experience as a ballet dancer and transitioning now into being this beautiful Ayurvedic. Are we a practitioner or doctor now?
We are officially a certified doctor
Ah,
level practitioner. That's
uh,
official because I graduated in November from the doctor level program.
yes.
So yeah,
That's
so my official title is certified doctor level um, Ayurvedic practitioner.
that's so amazing. Congratulations.
Yeah.
And I know you and I have been working together for I think it's 3 years, 2 or 3 years now. Three
Yes.
years. Oh my gosh. And I've just been able to witness part of your journey. And as I said, we kind of pulled that out of you last time on our podcast. So anybody who's now listening to you for the first time, I definitely say go back and we'll have that linked in this. But I want to start with where you are, where you've been this past year, because I know this is the past year was really challenging for you and for all of us. And you were starting to speak to that. And I was like, hold that, let me press record. So I'd
Yeah.
love to just kind of speak to that, like where you were from a year ago and what's been going on in your journey this
So
past year.
this past year, I've done a lot of international travel, staging different works for Alexei Ratmansky. So my association with American Ballet Theater and the ballet world um, had me traveling quite a lot. At the
Mhm.
same time, simultaneously, I've been putting together my Ayurvedic website so that there would be one home for everything that it is that I'm doing, everything that I'd like to express Ayurvedically, history of what I've done and what I'm currently doing in the field of Ayurveda, and then just a home for the specialty classes, workshops that I'm developing, and the retreats that I'm organizing. So that in itself was a full-time job to put that website
Yeah.
together. And then I've been working with clients. I keep getting people through word of mouth, basically, because I haven't officially done any kind of advertising for my practice, but I keep getting different clients through word of mouth that I've been working with and um, uh, working with, I need to say, uh, giving protocols and helping them with their different imbalances.
Mhm.
And at the same time, you know, having some very uh, difficult challenges in my personal life, emotionally, with different relationships.
Mhm.
And I've had very serious loss at the end of the year. Someone I was very, very close to for more than 18 years that I
Mhm.
loved very deeply, got sick and passed very quickly. And that news came at a very challenging work period for me. I was away from home and in a stressful period. And then this news came, and it was like a bomb that hit because this person was so much a part of my identity
Mhm.
for most of my life. We grew up together, we
Mhm.
traveled the world together, and um, he passed within a period of 5 weeks. So he himself didn't even have time to process the transition he was going through, let alone his family or his friends or people that are around him currently. And then I'm at a long distance. I did not know this was happening. So that was very traumatic news to get. And then I fell very ill at the end of the year, most likely the accumulation of overworking my body, my mind, trying to sustain a stress level at a constant pace, at a high level for so many months. I came down with a very severe case of shingles that
Oh.
that wasn't just the skin manifestation, the blisters that form that are painful and uncomfortable. It was the actual virus attacked my whole mind body system. I
Mm,
was running a high fever for days and days, having night deliriums from the intense fever, extreme weak physicality from the fever and the virus. So my whole system shut down.
mhm,
And I have all these tools and information on how to keep your body together and how to stay balanced. Yet with that knowledge, because I just kept pushing and pushing and pushing and not stopping at all and listening to what actually my body language was telling me, my body just said, okay, too bad, done. You have to
mhm,
stop. And I crashed. Yeah, so at the end of the year, I decided after Christmas to um, go to India and actually place myself in the hands of the doctors that I studied and interned with so that I could actually take a pause and um, take some time for myself to heal and to listen and to understand how I got to that place and
mhm,
what changes need to happen internally as well as externally in order for me to be able to continue forward in a way that's more sustainable.
mhm.
Yes.
Wow, yeah, there's a lot, right? You have these different tracks in your professional life. And I'm so sorry for your loss. You and I connected one-on-one about that before.
Yeah.
And then to have this culmination of disease, that you were going through. And my story too of going through my cancer journey this past year.
Mhm.
And I think there's something really powerful, and I'd love to like unpack that a little bit with you too,
Yeah.
because like you said, you weren't listening to your body language. You're a dancer. This is your job to listen to your body. You're an
And I'm a
Ayurvedic
healer, and
doctor
I
and
have
you're a healer.
all these
Yeah.
tools at my access, tools that I implement. Yet,
Yeah.
yet,
Hmm.
because I didn't stop at all for months and months, and maybe this is even years and years of accumulation, at one point, the innate intelligence of our mind body system, I really do believe that there is that innate intelligence there that knows when the threshold is overflowing and
Hmm.
when we need to stop and listen. And that usually is when some major crisis happens,
Hmm.
whether it's mind, whether it's emotional, whether it's physical, those strong signs, signals
Hmm.
need to be listened to
Yeah.
because it's a language. It's our whole relationship to ourselves that needs to be addressed, our whole relationship to the choices we make in the environment that we live in that needs to be addressed. And only when what I discovered in my time in India, actually getting there and in the travel process on top of it, getting a respiratory infection. I
Oh,
forgot that piece
oh
of it.
God.
As I traveled, I got sick on top of being already
Hmm.
weakened. Um, it really taught me to understand at a very deep level that unless we take time, periods of time within our life or within our schedules or within what it is that we're doing to so-called survive,
Hmm.
time to stop, time to pause. That actual pause is a medicine. The
Hmm.
actual silence in pausing when we really, really just quiet ourselves is a lesson, is a lesson to be learned. And unless we actually go through it, we're going to just keep doing this until we burn out. And
Yeah.
that's when even more serious conditions um, come up.
Yeah.
What else I learned in India when I went through the healing process, because it was amazing. Not necessarily a healing process needs to be a strong experience. It actually, what I experienced was the contrary. Because I was in
Mhm.
such a weakened state, they could not approach the Panchakarma process or the purification process, which is what Panchakarma is, in an aggressive way or in a
Mhm.
very intense way
Mhm.
because of my fragile state. So they
Mhm.
had to do the opposite. They had to do an approach that was soft, that was nurturing, that was nourishing. And that's something that really like was a red flag or a actual more like a bell to me. I was like,
Mhm.
wow, what my whole system and mind and emotions are calling for here is not more. It's
Mhm.
actually reduction, is actually um, less and simplify
Mhm.
things. Um, Look at things from a nurturing, softening, flowing uh, point of view rather than I'm going to achieve, I'm going to go, I'm going to do this, I'm going to get through this, I'm going to fight.
Mhm.
No, the actual biggest lesson I learned was in staying still and quiet and attentive to what I was feeling, what I was understanding, what I was experiencing was actually more informative than plowing through or trying to make something happen or fight
Mhm.
through something. It was
Mhm.
a letting go process,
Yeah.
a surrendering process. Okay, now I need to learn to love myself. Now I need to learn to honor myself. Now, in order to be able to give to my dancers that I work with, my patients that I work with, my family that I love, my husband, my cat, my home, in order to have the proper energy to do that, I need to give that same love and attention and care and nurturing to myself. So when
Yeah.
you start looking from that perspective, your day-to-day choices shift and change. So when I came back, first of all, I gained complete repose. I slept in a way that I haven't slept in years. So
Mhm.
intense, profound sleep. And
Mhm.
there in sleep is where rejuvenation happens. Um, so I was rested. I had time to contemplate what emotions were coming up, what thoughts were coming up, and why they were coming up, and where they were coming from, and what was um, you of use to my life still,
Mhm.
or what I could let go of and I didn't need anymore. Like this is part of an old script that's not necessary to hold on to anymore. I'm not that person anymore, so I don't need to latch on to that pattern. Like patterns unraveled for me, uh,
Mhm.
just deeper understanding of how to not be reactionary in situations that are stressful, but to actually be more of an observer, which is what we learn when we're meditating or what we experience when we meditate. But I actually understood in that silent time in India, I can apply that to my day to day active life as well. I can
Mhm.
be the observer. I don't need to react to this, that, or the other. So there's a sense of being grounded and
Mhm.
standing in our presence without getting enmeshed in the drama that's all around us. We can see it, we can observe it, and then we can choose what of this circumstance is useful, what I could just not pay attention to and let go. And so I came back not with less responsibility. In fact, I came back to a period where I was going to be asked to take more responsibility, but I approached it in a way that I never have before, and it actually conserved energy.
Mm,
I wasn't doing less work. I wasn't having less pressure. But how I approached what I was doing, I approached in this with this new understanding, and it
mm,
changed the energetics of everything. And I actually, through the work process, found a newfound joy and love in the moment to moment, being present moment to moment in what it was that I was doing. And
mm,
this like joy was there rather than this like mm, weight on my shoulders of, oh my God, I can't take this anymore. It's too much pressure. I was like, oh my God, I can't wait to get there again tomorrow and do more. So it actually then started to, the spiral down was spiraling up. And
mm,
it's funny because I think that in showing myself and being present in with this different energy and different perspective and different understanding, I showed up differently, and how others that I was working with reacted and responded in a different way, in a more open way, in a more loving way. I saw more response. I felt a reception from the people that I've had to work with so intensely over the past 3 months, a reception of love and warmth and appreciation like I've never felt in the 20 years that I'm doing
wow.
the dance career. And that has nothing else to do with just a shift, an internal shift,
Oof.
which is maybe perhaps the strongest thing I needed to learn for my own personal healing journey, right?
Yeah.
And the body followed.
Yeah.
Body relaxed, body immune system got stronger. So everyone around me was getting sick. I didn't catch anything. Um, Woke up in the morning, same time, early, but I had energy instead of being lethargic and um, no energy and not feeling good or getting headaches or like my body always it shuts down when I'm overtaxed, when my threshold is met, stress threshold is met. I'll get a migraine or I'll get a nausea that like something that has to like, okay, you got to stay in bed in a dark room for a day.
Yeah.
That hasn't happened in the past 3 months since I took that repose. So
Wow.
2 weeks was an amazing 2 weeks of rest and nurturing and holistic remedies and love around me. The people that work there are so loving and caring and treat their job like a sacred service, right? So just the whole environment embraced me in such a way that the healing was able to happen on so many levels. It was really extraordinary experience.
That is an extraordinary experience. And I know you're going to have an opportunity taking people to that experience later this year that I definitely want to talk about. But first I want to just kind of reflect a little bit back of what you were saying. And because I think so many people, you and I were talking, there's so many people that are going through loss and chaos. And I mean, personally and collectively, we're going through so much. And what I'm hearing from you was, you've been doing this for so many years. I know in terms of the career, the ballet career, but also when you were sharing in the past podcast of how Ayurveda has been present, or you going through these different healing modalities has been present through your whole life. But there's something that really shifted on a very deep internal level with this last experience that just it almost felt like an initiation for you, and I
Mm,
felt like that for me too this past year.
mm,
And it's almost like we have to do this complete internal shift to be that ripple, be the change you want to see in the world. Like I
yeah.
almost see that happening for you and for me as well, and so many other healers that had really weird crazy experiences in 2025. So I'm just curious now to see, now that you've integrated it the last 3 months, and I know you have big plans for, what you're going to be doing with your Ayurveda practice. And like, is there any, are there other new insights as to this next wave for you as you're stronger and stronger and softer is what I feel for you, right? Like it's not strong, like,
Yeah.
it's this soft, this surrendering. And I see that in you too.
The surrendering has helped me have confidence and groundedness in
Mm,
my beliefs,
mm,
in my ethics, in my dharma, what I feel is right, what I feel is true, what I feel is um, like Ayurveda. The definition of Ayurveda is the science of life, right? Veda is
mhm,
knowledge, Ayu is life, the knowledge of how to live life in a more balanced way. Somehow, this last year's experience, which probably challenged me on every level, emotionally, relationship wise, mortality wise, physically, emotionally, every psychologically, everything, and then just practically, um, just what I understood was that really staying steadfast with what it is that you believe in
mhm,
and showing up with a groundedness and a confidence in that has in itself an energy that transforms any space that you come into and attracts people to want to understand how they can find that same centeredness, that same groundedness. And
mm,
it's given me the experience of last year, and especially the healing experience in India in January, has made me um, understand that it's not about other people, it's not about even what's happening in different circumstances, it's how we react to it
mhm,
that makes a difference for our own lives of either staying integrated or disintegrating, making
mhm,
the choice of looking like you, when in our conversation you said to me, I'm going to rephrase that for you. I'm learning how to rephrase the
mhm,
things I see and the things I experience so that it's actually from a perspective that's going to enlighten and heal rather than cause disruption and conflict. And those are actual tangible choices that we can make. So I feel as a healer, the more vision we have of that, the more understanding we have of that, the more ability we have to be able to guide others. And I'm
mhm,
experiencing that with the dancers I work with because they're the closest population to me. Um, they don't come to me per se for the professional advice. They're coming to me for other lessons, and
okay.
I'm able to offer those other lessons. Like, how do you stay in a world where you're constantly judged, where you have to perform at a very high level, and there's many super talented people next to you, and you're trying to be the best that you could be, and then there's 10 others that are just as
Mhm,
amazing as you are. And how do you hold on to your own self-worth in a
mm,
situation where that's constantly being challenged, right?
yes.
And so, with the insights that I've learned over all these years, and I continue to learn,
Yeah.
able to help them with that, support them with that. And
Mm,
ultimately, it's going to be each person will, if they're searching, they're going to arrive at understandings about life, about who they are, about what is necessary and unnecessary to keep in their lives. It's going to be their own personal journey, but
Yeah.
we can be there as assistants, as support systems, which is really important. If you don't have a support system, you can get lost. It's
Yeah.
very easy to get lost, especially in the world we live in today that's so fast and so challenging and so scary on some level, on many levels, very destabilizing. So,
Yeah. Yeah, scary, but like what you said, it's all about your response to it or your reaction to it.
yes.
And what I was when you were speaking, I sometimes get visuals and I was just picturing you as this very strong rooted tree, but then there's these beautiful branches that could be, moving in the breeze with the blue, the leaves and everything. So it's the both and of being anchored is what I really feel as I see you right now. But then also having this beautiful fluidity and flexibility with the air.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, that flexibility is really necessary
yeah.
everywhere.
Hmm.
And actually, in Vedic science, it's funny that you mentioned that because I was just listening to a lecture from my meditation master who um, was teaching, and Bhagavad Gita chapter 15 teaches that we're actually like a pipili tree that's
Hmm.
inverted with the roots upward, right?
Hmm.
So roots are going to be um, in what's universal knowledge, right?
Hmm.
And then the from that, everything in this physical world manifests, right?
Yes,
So,
exactly.
how do you find those roots? And that's going to be different for each person's path. Like, not everybody is going to learn in the same way, but there's a there are universal truths and
Mhm.
many ways to understand them.
Yeah, exactly. So I'd love to talk a little bit about, you had your personal experience of going to the school that you're at, or your Ayurvedic school. That's where you went back to in January, and
Mm.
you are bringing a group, and you've brought a group. Let's actually
Did.
talk about that.
Yeah.
You have actually
Did it.
brought a group.
In 2024, for the first time, I brought a
Yeah.
group. I wanted to offer the opportunity for
Yeah.
people that needed a pause or break, a
Mhm.
rejuvenation, or that had some connection to Ayurveda and yoga that
Mhm.
wanted to have an authentic experience. So I did bring that group in November of 2024. It was 5 women that
Mhm.
went with me. But each of them had different reasons why they wanted to come on the trip. And each of them left with a different, incredible experience, and things that benefited the reasons why they went. Uh, for example, one young woman came with me that I was working with prior to the retreat on infertility. She was 3 years trying to have a
Mhm.
baby with her partner, and it wasn't happening. And she was having a lot of problems with her body and with her cycle and with the stress level. She was a flamenco dancer in Spain, and um, I started working with her, teaching her some basic Ayurvedic principles for changing diet, changing lifestyle, gave her some supplements that were supportive, et cetera, et cetera. And then one week before the retreat, she said, I think I actually want to try this because, maybe doing the Panchakarma is what I need to do. And
Mhm.
she just gave birth. She just came and she did treatment during the retreat for infertility with the
Mhm.
physicians, the Vaidyas, the doctors at the Ayurvedic Center, and then brought the protocol home with her in Spain. And 2 months later, they got pregnant, her and her partner, and she just gave birth to a really beautiful, healthy
Oh
little
my
girl.
God. That's
So that's
amazing.
one outcome, right? And the
Yeah.
other person, one other person came post cancer uh,
Mm.
treatment. She went through a whole very intense radiation chemotherapy, brachytherapy. It was a really intense year, and she wanted to come um, to actually try to cleanse her system from all that she had gone through to go through her treatment for cancer. So she did post-cancer treatment in India, and she's already gone through her almost like a year and a half of um, no detection of cancer at all.
Remission. Yeah,
Right, she's in
amazing.
remission. Um, One nurse that works in the children's intensive care unit in Washington, D.C., at a hospital there. She's like the head nurse. She
Mhm,
came on the retreat and she said that it was life-changing for her because she
mhm,
learned so many tools to take home with her.
mhm,
And she was one of those people that's dealing with high stress constantly,
mhm.
and never takes a break. And this was like such an amazing, and the fact that it was holistic medicine and she's in the medical world. So it
Yeah.
was a whole eye-opening experience for her. And, there's 24-hour nurses at the health village. And so she was looking at how do those nurses work in comparison to how my nurses that I
Mm,
supervise work or how I work myself. So she had this amazing, like, restorative, rejuvenative experience and a learning experience comparing how this holistic um, medical model works in its authentic place of practice in comparison to what she works with in Washington in a major hospital.
Yeah.
So that was interesting to go through. And the
Yeah.
two other women also went through their own experiences and
Yeah.
had a lot of benefits from it. So yeah, and I just want to be able to open up that opportunity for people that are interested in that kind of an experience. So I'm you know um, putting together that retreat possibility now for August of 2026.
Yeah. And I mean, you already spoke to a few people. I mean, what you were experiencing and what brought you there in January in terms of your illness of shingles and, dealing with grief. And then also looking at these other women who had different reasons for going with infertility, with cancer, with just stress, it sounds like, from the ICU nurse. And so there isn't a one reason why somebody would go on this experience of Panchakarma is essentially what they're going to be experiencing. Can you talk for anybody who doesn't know what Panchakarma is? And it sounds like it's a little different for each person.
It
Um,
is.
and so can you kind of speak to that?
Ayurveda is, India's traditional form of natural medicine. That's not a one size fits all
I love
practice.
that.
It's an individualized, very individualized, natural protocol plan that's designed differently for each person.
Mm,
And so there's, different aspects of um, a person that we're looking at when we're assessing them. And it's and that deals with their fundamental digestive capacity, whether they're holding toxicity in the body. We're looking at the 16 channels of the body, and if they're flowing and working in their proper way, we're looking at tissue formation, and if the tissue formation in the body, all the different seven dhatus or seven tissues are formed properly, functioning properly. We're looking at the nervous system, we're looking at the mind, we're looking at emotions, we're looking at a person's circadian rhythms or seasonal rhythms or daily rhythms. And then we have a ton of tools that we use that are given or designed or put together in a way according to the expressions of the whole assessment that we understand and the root cause that we find. And these tools are designed in a way to support and trigger the patient or the client's own innate intelligence to heal. Because one of the main principles of Ayurveda is we're a microcosm of the macrocosm, and everything that makes up the universe or nature is also what makes up our mind body system. And when that's somehow out of balance for our particular constitution or our particular nature that we come into this world with, that's when the disease or imbalances manifest. So Ayurveda looks at the person as well as the condition or the
Hmm.
imbalance. And with all those tools of herbal remedies, of dietary adjustments, of lifestyle adjustments, of breath work, which connects the body to the vital life force energy that makes everything function. We're using counseling, we're using body treatments, and in Kerala, they have their own unique body treatments, Kerala treatments that have been preserved for thousands of years and practiced authentically for thousands of years. So, all of that is what the participants that come on the retreat will experience. They'll have a doctor that's an experienced Ayurvedic practitioner that would assess them and oversee their progress on a daily basis. They'll have nurses that come in that monitor the shifts and changes, and the actual protocol keeps shifting day by day according to how body and mind is shifting on a daily basis. So that means we're a living breathing organism, and those changes can happen, and those that healing happens,
Hmm.
minute by minute, hour by hour. There's also yoga that's in the morning, and meditation and pranayama ends the day. In between the day, there's the treatments and the herbal protocol. So you have a chance to open the body and connect on a physical level, on a mental level, connect movement, body, mind. And then at the end of the day, you're integrating it with quietude, with breath work, with contemplation. And then the environment of the place in Kerala that I bring the clients to is very beautiful. It's along the Periyar River. It's very peaceful, very conducive for healing. There's nature all around, tropical nature all around. It's clean. And so it's just a really beautiful environment to actually take that kind of quiet time and experience the changes that can happen in the mind body system with a great support. Plus, all the people that work there um, work in tangent with each other in order to be of service for healing to happen. So it's a
Hmm.
very special, very loving environment. And
Hmm.
you right away feel like you're walking into a family. They treat you like family, and you feel comfortable like you're in the presence of family. And it's very unique experience, very special experience.
Wow. How long have you been going to this particular place?
I've been I've been since 2022. I went there first as a student.
Hmm.
I was doing my doctor level internships there. And then I've gone back sometimes twice a year for further studying, further personal, my own independent study, the internship studies that my school required of us, and then back as a patient, bringing a group. So I've been going every year to India once or twice a year since 2022.
That's beautiful. And you're bringing a group in August.
Yes. Yeah.
And can we just speak a little bit to if someone's listening to this and connecting with what you've shared so far, um, if they're feeling that pull, what are some reasons? I mean, we kind of spoke to some of them, but like, what are some other reasons why somebody would say yes to this retreat, and what could they expect, when they go home if they haven't really heard? We've been talking about it, but just would love for them to start to visualize that for themselves.
Yeah. So I think to answer that question, I would be answering, who this kind of a experience would work for. And
Yeah.
really, it's Ayurvedic. Panchakarma, which is a purification process.
Mhm.
It's a process where the protocol is designed to actually purge the imbalances out
Mhm.
of the system so that there's less of a chance for, if somebody has a chronic illness, less of a chance for the chronicity to continue. It can help lessen the impact of a chronic condition,
Mhm.
or it can help prevent a chronic issue from manifesting because they're helping to balance the root cause of why somebody is feeling off. Or
Mhm.
if somebody has burnout, or they're in an overstimulating situation, or they're feeling disconnected with themselves, or they're having some chronic issue of any nature. This type of a reset or a period of time to rejuvenate and recalibrate would be beneficial.
Yeah.
What else could I say to um, the results?
Yeah.
The immediate results that you feel after a few days of going through the body work and the change of diet and the herbal remedies is a lightness
Mhm.
to your system. Stress kind of feels like it just melts off of you. Sleep improves. Um, Stress levels are reduced. There's a mental clarity. There's a calmness. So there's an emotional balancing that happens and a calmness that's felt. The quality of the skin
Mm.
improves, digestion improves. Um, yeah, nervous system quiets down so you're able to think in a better way, think in a clearer way. Um, and then you just have an overall sense of wellness, of balance. Energy is increased, sleep is improved. Those are some of the kind of immediate things that one can feel after they go through a panchakarma experience. Some people that go just for rejuvenation, those are the simple things that happen.
Mm.
On the other hand, if you're going for a particular illness or a particular disease, there's more pronounced results, right? There's
Mhm.
people that I met at the health village that have been going back there for the past 20 years because they're dealing with MS, or they're
Mm.
dealing with um, rheumatoid arthritis that's very severe, or um, like this woman that was having infertility, and then went for a targeted panchakarma for that condition. And 2 months later, she's able to get pregnant after trying again and again with Western doctors and all methods for 3 years.
Mhm.
So it can be disease specific as well, and
Yeah.
those results can be incredible, right? So depending
Yeah.
on chronicity, depending on severity, would be
Yeah.
the length of time that would be appropriate to do a particular panchakarma. So 10 days is like the minimum to get
Mhm.
those simple results I talked about in the
Mhm.
beginning of this
Yeah.
question. Uh, when you have some condition that's been there for a long time, or that's at a very evolved stage, then
Mhm.
a longer period of time would be required to get optimal results. So that's
Okay.
why I'm offering two options this
Okay.
time around, a 10-day kind of introduction to Panchakarma for
Okay.
those people that would be interested in feeling more connected to themselves and feeling lighter with their bodies, improving their digestion, improving their sleep, improving, um, calming the nervous system or emotions, right? So 10 days going through a period of panchakarma for achieving that would
Yeah.
be a good amount of time, and really good for people that can't take a long period of time off from work, that um, don't feel they're in a place where they can commit to a longer amount of time going through a process like this. So 10 days is a great introduction to Ayurveda and Panchakarma, and enough time to be able to get really nice benefits, really good results. The 17-day track that I'm offering for participants would be for more chronic conditions, people that already know their bodies, know something about Ayurveda, and want to actually make that commitment to themselves to get the care they need to, and support they need to be able to work towards um, lessening their condition to get worse, lessening the chances of it to get worse, and to actually healing it and create an environment in their mind body system that won't allow the disease to progress more.
Okay, beautiful. So you have these two options. They're happening at the same time, it sounds like. So there's a group that could be going for 10 days, and then there's a group that's staying 7 days longer. Is that correct?
Yes,
And
yes.
when is this happening?
It's happening July 31st
Ooh.
through August 17th. So the
Okay.
17 direct. So I would be asking people to make their flight arrangements so they could arrive morning of the 31st, and
Okay.
they can adapt, pack in, get comfortable, perhaps have their initial assessment with the chief medical officer in the afternoon. And then we would have a puja ceremony, which would set the intention for the retreat, and give some cultural experience to how Ayurveda is also connected spiritually, how our mind and heart and spirit is part of the healing process. And
Yeah.
then the next day we would go start right away.
Okay.
Um, there's always two treatments done, a major treatment and a minor treatment in the afternoon.
Okay.
Rest time in between. There's the food there is Ayurvedic meals that are designed together with the chief medical officer and the chef that's a
Okay.
Ayurvedic expert chef. And the meal plan is designed for each individual. If somebody needs a
Beautiful.
particular special diet according to what's happening in their bodies, that will
Mhm.
be taken care of between the doctors and the kitchen staff.
Yeah.
Um, the food is all locally grown, organic, vegetarian, because that's lighter for the system to digest.
Hmm.
It's not really an experience for people that are looking for a vacation or a
No.
tourist excursion that
Yeah.
has a little bit of a spa experience to it.
Right.
It's not that. It's there's more of a commitment to it, but
Yeah.
designed within the structure of the retreat. There are cultural excursions that are uh, strategically placed as somebody is getting their treatment, they're strategically placed so it doesn't actually interfere with the treatment that's happening. So
Okay.
we'll do some
Beautiful.
temple visits, we'll take people for nature walks. We're going to plan this year to go to Munnar, which is um, where the famous tea plantations and spice gardens are, and it's a magnificent
Mm-hmm.
nature excursion. The hillsides where the tea plantations and spices are spectacular. So that would
Mm-hmm.
be just a day trip on a Sunday when people are actually resting from treatment. So we would go in a very comfortable van that's air conditioned and leisurely take that trip, and people can see the culture and the
Yeah.
nature that Kerala is so well known for its spectacular scenic places and
Mm.
authentic herbs and everything.
And that I'm glad that you spoke a little bit to that too, the culture as well as the actual practice of Panchakarma, because before we pressed record, you were saying, people can do Panchakarma in other ways, but
Mhm.
this is an actual authentic experience. Can you kind of speak to that too,
Yeah,
and why it looks different elsewhere
yeah.
and why this is so, so special?
Well, Kerala has kind of been the caretaker of Ayurveda for
Mm.
thousands of years. It's the place that's preserved the classical way that Ayurveda is practiced or has been practiced for centuries.
Yeah.
So they follow the classical text. Those are all those books I have back there. They're following the herbal remedies are organically grown. They're put together according to the sages that wrote these classical textbooks. Those medicines have been used and proven to function for thousands of years. The same with the body treatments have been the way that those are done is the way it's been done for thousands of years. And the doctors that actually work in Kerala in this particular Kerala Ayurveda is the health village come from lineage of doctors. So their parents and grandparents and great grandparents were also Vaidyas, and that knowledge has been preserved and passed on from one generation to the next. And
Mm.
then being in that environment, the tropical environment of Kerala, its nature, its beauty, all of that would be part of the experience of someone that chooses to go get Panchakarma on this retreat versus going to a center that's here in the United States or in Europe where you're staying in a hotel, you're having to go through a city, you're getting the treatments done, and then you're having to find where to eat, and it's like not the same
Mm.
experience,
Oh
right?
yeah, so the food isn't really included and the housing isn't really included in other
No.
places. So this is really truly a retreat space where everything is taken care of.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that's for me more conducive for healing than any
Oh
other.
gosh, just my nervous system was so peaceful
Yes.
now that I don't have to worry about getting on like driving somewhere or finding a taxi or whatever, figuring out am I going to eat the right food here today
Yeah,
after
and
the
on the
treatment.
retreat, everything is taken
Yeah.
care of.
Yeah,
Like
that's
from
beautiful.
the moment people arrive to the airport,
Yeah.
we arrange a comfortable air-conditioned van to pick them up. We'll bring them back. If they need to go anywhere during the retreat, we'll organize a personal trip where they would be escorted to the place that they want to go. Let's say they want to do a specific shopping, that like there is some freedom on the retreat. It's not like
Yeah.
you're locked into a place that those arrangements would be made. Yeah, so it's a very, very special
Yeah.
experience to
Mm.
actually have an Ayurvedic treatment
Mhm.
plan done in the birthplace of it or the motherland where it's been preserved for thousands of years. It's a much different experience.
Wow. And so anyone out there listening right now saying, where do I sign up?
Where do I sign up?
Yes.
They can go to my website, www.healingheartayurveda.com. I have one link for retreats, and there they can find all the information. They can find an e-brochure where they could read about the doctors. They can just understand more about the place. There's photos, there's testimonials, there's a lot there where if they want more information they can get it there. And then I have a profile on Heal List. It's a holistic um,
Mhm.
site for retreats for holistic healers. They can look my profile up, Nancy Raffa, in the search, and there's a sign up there. People that want to register can sign up through Heal List. And it's also there. I have posted more photographs, some videos. Um, um, what else is there? Detailed information about the rooms and the food and
Yeah.
everything, or what's provided, what's not provided. There's so much information there.
And we'll
And
have,
through
yeah.
Nomad, I
Yeah,
believe that the information about the
it
retreat
is.
is on Nomad
There we go.
Collective website as well, because I'm a retreat leader with Nomad, and Nomad's my retreat family. So
Yes, you're a nomad guide. So it is on our website. And we'll have the links for everything there too, so they can go through Nomad and it takes them through all of those other websites too. So we'll have all of the links.
Mhm.
Um,
I appreciate
yeah.
that.
And then also just to work with you too, right? Because maybe someone's saying, "Oh, this is the experience I want to go on, but the dates aren't working right now," or "I'm not quite sure if this is right for me." They can work with you. You work with clients one-on-one. Is that correct?
Yes, I do. I have
Okay.
my consulting practice that is up and running. Again, if they want more information about the services that I provide or the type of work I provide or the population that I specialize in, I have training in Kaya Chikitsa, which is Ayurveda's term for general medicine. So I actually have a wide range of knowledge on how to work with various different conditions. But my expertise, because of my dance background, is for professional dancers, athletes, and any person that works in a high performance
Mm-hmm.
environment. So those are the people that I've most worked with. Um, and on my website, they can also find the information for consultation. They can set up a discovery, 15-minute free discovery call and talk to me about what their issues are. And I could explain to them how I might be able to support them. Um, where else? On Heal List, I also have a place to sign up for just a simple consultation, and I do them online as
Yeah.
well as in person.
Yeah.
Here in the New York, New Jersey area, so I have a space where I'm meeting with people and doing consultations, and then I have clients from all over the United States, all over the world. I work with some clients in Europe, and we do that via Zoom.
Beautiful. So you work in person and on Zoom. That's beautiful. We'll have again the links in our copy there for this episode. And I just want to first of all say thank you to you, Nancy,
Oh, I
for
want to
this
thank you.
time and just the work that you're doing in the world and then also taking that time. I mean, your body really told you you had to do it, but listening, ultimately listening to that and saying, okay, not just let me sleep for the weekend and then get back out there, but you're actually walking your talk and going to India and going through your Panchakarma when you have that time and becoming the student and the patient at the same time is such it's so beautiful to be able to witness you and that and have you bring that wisdom back out into the world. And this podcast has been out in the world since 2017 called The Space in Between. And I've never really told anybody why it's called The Space in Between because I like to have it open for interpretation. But I just want to kind of close with a question there for you is what is the space in between for you and what do you see in that space for this new world that we're all creating now?
That's a really great question. For me personally, the
Yeah.
space in between is that quiet place of silence where we can truly connect with our true nature, our soul, our voice inside that
Mm,
knows who we are, that knows why we're here, and that's being able to connect to that space is why we're able to be in the world. So the space in between is taking that silent time to actually connect with who we are, right?
mm,
And to understand the wisdom that's in that knowledge.
mhm,
Right? Um, Everything outside of us is busy, 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 going, 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 moving, moving, moving. But that's not really who we are. So, this
mhm,
space in between us being an entity and everything else in the world that's happening, the space in between is that silence where we're able to actually be in communion with ourselves.
Mm. Hmm.
That's for me personally.
Well, that's beautiful. Thank you, Nancy.
Okay.
Yeah. And we will have you back again, I'm sure. Thank you for this time.
Thank you, Phoebe. Take
Mm.
care. Namaste.
Namaste.